Now that we are done talking about Advanced Warfare, I think it's right to move on to what most of the zombies community consider the best game in the series, which is Black Ops 3. In my opinion, it's Cold War, but I also do like Black Ops 3 as well. Anyway, the start of the Black Ops 3 Aether storyline journey actually begins us with Shadows of Evil, which Shadows of Evil is a incredible map. It's generally incredible. I love this map so much. Shadows of Evil introduces a brand new celeb cast for this map, with it being Floyd Campbell, Jessica Rose, you know, the classic Hey You, Nero, and Jackie fucking Vincent. I'm sorry for that, that was poor on my end. And it takes place in 1940s fictional Mog City, where these four characters all die. Well, not really die, but they get transported to a nightmarish realm of the city by the Shadow Man, which the Shadow Man becomes quite an infamous character as we go through the rest of this storyline. Now, Shadows of Evil introduces a lot of new stuff and it kind of upgrades on top of Origins. Origins was kind of the set zone of, well, it was kind of the groundwork for Jason Blundell's maps. Whereas Shadows and the additional BO3 maps were just pieces being added on top of that. Now, let's talk about some new stuff. So, there's a new wonder weapon, there's a new perk. The only new perk, let's actually talk about the new perk first. Widow's Wine. Now, Widow's Wine for me is a kind of get out of jail card. You use this, it will activate when you get hit by a zombie. And it'll basically cause them to be stuck, kind of like stuck in the mud, if you ever played that, where if you get hit, you're stuck and stuff. But basically for Widow's Wine, it does that. And it's the most expensive pack, or it's equal most expensive pack to Mule Kick, of course. And it has Widow Wine, it replaces your grenades with Widow Wine's grenades as well. So zombies actually drop them as well, but it's quite rare for that to drop quite often. And of course you get 2 every round, of course, and it replenishes each bat's ammo and such. But like I say, Widow's Wine is actually a pretty useful perk, especially if you're doing like high rounds, I would say, because like I say, if you get, well, not high rounds, if you're just trading and you get hit by a zombie, you get hit in a corner, it will save your butt. Now, I think we should talk about the new wonder weapon, shall we, because, oh boy, this wonder weapon's incredible. The Apothicon Servant. Now, the best way to describe the Apothicon Servant is it's kind of like a black hole, like alien, basically, where you, no joke, insert your hand into it, and you shoot these black holes which zombies get sucked into. I don't think Margros do. We'll talk about Margros in a bit. But yeah, it's a really overpowered weapon, and a little bit of a fun fact: at launch, you could pack-a-punch it. Although I think the way you had to do it was through a glitch, and of course that got removed out. And basically, while you can't pack-a-punch this in this map, eventually you will be able to. And we'll talk about that map in a few weeks' time, or in a few videos' time. Now, the side weapons are a lot different this time around. Like I say, the Black Ops 3 weaponry is quite futuristic compared to the Black Ops 2 and the Black Ops 1 weaponry. So, you have weapons like the RQ-5, the Bloodhound, the Brecci, the KN-44, the VMP. Not real weapons, basically. I think the Bootlegger might be based off a real weapon, but yeah. And the fun fact, if I'm correct, the Bootlegger was originally supposed to be a Shadows of Evil only weapon, but then eventually got added to a bunch of other maps as well, which is just funny. Now, with Mob of the Dead, you have the Half-Life. Mode, right? So you start in the Half-Life mode. Well, Shadows kind of brings that back, but in a different form. It's kind of the monster mode, or kind of Margwa mode. Basically, you see these you'll see these purple things around the map, and you hold X or square, whatever. I think it's F on PC, and you're tied into a Margwa. And you it's not a Margwa, but you tie it to like a Apothicon, and you basically can zip around the map and shock power boxes, and that's how you turn on perks. That's how you turn on like how you unlock certain areas of the map. And that's how you get this summon key and, you know, all the parts needed to basically unlock Pack-a-Punch. Because the way you unlock Pack-a-Punch in this game, or in this map, is quite different compared to the other maps. So you need to go around and do 4 rituals in each area. One at spawn, one in, and then one in the following 3 districts as well. So I can't remember the districts' names off the top of my head, but yeah, basically that's what you gotta do. With that, once you've done the rituals, and like I say, you gotta get the pieces from like destroying boxes while you're in the apothecary form and such. Once you've done that, there'll be like a portal down by like the bottom sides of the maps, or like certain sides of the map, which will lead you to the underground. You gotta do one final ritual where you unlock Pack-a-Punch basically, and yeah, there you go, you got Pack-a-Punch unlocked. And Pack-a-Punch in this game is a lot different compared to the previous games, because this would introduce us to alternate ammo types, which is something that's been seen in every tryout game following on this one. The ultimate ammo types we would have are Thunderwall, Blast Furnace, Fireworks, Turned, and Deadwire. Now Deadwire and Blast Furnace are the 2 best out of the bunch, while Turned, Fireworks, and Thunderwall aren't really that great. And as long as you have the money, you can keep constantly Pack-a-Punching until you get the ultimate ammo type that you want, which I think is really nice. Something we haven't got around to mentioning yet is the brand new enemy types. So while there's zombies, of course, there are a few more enemy types. There's the Mogwais. The Mogwais are basically the new bosses, or mini-bosses of the map. And they're these 3-head, very ugly-looking creatures. You'll see one after you complete the second ritual, or you get to a certain round. And you basically just got to shoot their heads. You shoot their heads, another enemy type called the Parasite comes out and it flies around. The Parasites are literally just a fly. They're very weak, but in packs they can be very dangerous. So you just shoot them, honestly. There's also the Keepers as well. The Keepers only come at you for the rituals though. And whenever you pick up a important ritual part, so Nero's book for example, or Jack Vincent's badge, I gotta say, the enemy types really balance out the map very well, and I have no issues with them at all. I think they are perfectly fine, to be honest. And we should probably talk about the Easter egg. So, the Shadow Man says to the crew, he's like, oh yeah, like, you guys need to help me, man, like, you know, do these rituals and stuff. So, they do the rituals, they unlock Pack-a-Punch, and then the Shadow Man's like, haha, fuck you lot, I deceived you lot. And it turns into this curse, like apothecary like thing. Anyway, after you do the Easter egg, one of the keepers comes down with the summoning key, which then gets snatched out of him, or snatched out of them, by none other than Richtofen. So this map is connected to the Aether storyline, and because it has mentions of Mob of the Dead as well, it's also connected to the Aether storyline as well. So this map kind of connects Mob of the Dead to the Aether storyline. Because if I'm correct, Mob of the Dead was originally just its own spin-off map. But then eventually got added as part of the Aether storyline. But yeah, there's also a new tactical equipment as well, the Little Arnie, which is basically the Monkey Bomb equivalent of Shadows. It also comes back in a later map as well. But yeah, like, this map is incredible. Let's get some trivia, shall we? Because I'm sure there's some fun trivia about this map. Let's see. The plane from Mob of the Dead can be seen flying during the Easter egg, which yeah, even brings even more ties. I know. Jack Vincent also goes on about yeah, I think Jack Vincent also goes on about one of the mobsters as well, which is just incredible. The Death Machine power-up, funny enough, will only spawn after a player obtains Quick Revive, which I think is very interesting. This one I think is quite well known within the zombie community, but if you shoot the Shadow Man a certain amount of times, you'll go from it'll basically skip you to round 5, and then we'll skip you up to round 15 as well if you continue doing it. Now you could do this in obviously you could do this in solo, private, or local matches, but you need all players to shoot at him if you're playing with more players than one, which obviously makes kind of doing it in public match impossible. But yeah, like, this map is, I think that's enough trivia. I think I've talked about this map a lot, so I just want to give my overall praises to this map. This map is incredible, and yes, at launch, it was a nightmare to play. It was very difficult at launch, by the way. It was a very difficult map at launch. They toned it down a little bit to make it a lot easier now. Like, if I remember, I think the Margros were, like, really overpowered at launch. I think that's something I do remember. I can't remember. It's been, well, it's 2023 now. This came out in 2015. Yeah, it's been a long time. But yeah, this map is just incredible, and it starts off a streak of very good maps. Because you know, you gotta think about it the way the zombies community thought about it back then. Is we went through the period of Advanced Warfare, which Advanced Warfare was very lackluster, very disappointed. So to finally get, like, you know, good zombies, it was really nice. And to have a good launch map compared to Transit, holy hell. Anyway, the next map is of course the Giant, which is a remake of Der East, which will be a very interesting map to talk about. And then we get on to the DLC season, which, oh boy, the DLC season has... I have some mixed opinions on some of the DLC maps, but like I say, we'll leave it for each one. Anyway, it's been Josh. I'll see you up at the next one. Peace.